Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. You are tuned in once again with Cindy, and if you are new, welcome to this beautiful channel that's filled with motivation, positivity, and inspiration. I am back today to talk to you guys about something that I get asked a lot about, and that's how our life works as professional athletes. The moment I tell people that I'm a professional athlete and that's my career, they instantly ask me, how does that work? What does that mean? What's your actual job? How do you get paid? How many miles do you run a week? I get so many questions about being a professional track athlete. I'm sure a lot of people don't really know how this actually works, because if I didn't run, I probably wouldn't know how it is as well. And then also, I want to kind of talk to the people out there who might be aspiring to be a professional athlete one day. So I get asked from a lot of younger athletes about, how do I become a professional athlete? How do you get sponsored? Like, how do you even just motivate yourself to run at that level? I get a lot of questions regarding this, and to be completely honest with you, this is something that I would have preferred to have a little bit more insight into before I kind of entered it myself, just because it's not the easiest thing in the world to be a professional athlete. It might seem like it's this perfect life and it's so much fun, and don't get me wrong, I am blessed. It's an amazing life. I love what I do and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. However, there's a lot of behind the scenes things that I think we can do a better job of addressing as athletes to the general public and people who might not have a great understanding of it. So today's video is going to be a little bit on that. If you're kind of interested about how our life works or what we're doing or what we do at training, make sure you're tuning into this video, because I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an insight as to what my life looks like and some of the pros and cons that I've kind of come to the conclusion of my transition from being just a college athlete or a younger athlete to being a pro athlete and actually having this as my career. So if you're curious about this, make sure you are tuned into this video. I want to start off with telling you guys a little bit how it works as a professional athlete. So we have agents, and most of us have agents that get us into track meets, get us into all our competitions, and kind of plan our whole schedule out for the year. So they give us our competition schedule, they vouch for us in terms of getting sponsors and getting endorsements, and they're just like really our guides to getting us in the track world. You start off with getting an agent who kind of guides you through the whole process of finding all this stuff. They speak for you on your behalf, and you pay them obviously some portion of what you receive as once you become sponsored. Then you actually have a sponsor from a shoe company. So we are sponsored by shoe companies, a lot of us professional athletes, whether it's Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Asics, there's a lot of different shoe companies that sponsor us. And so they give you contracts, or they might just give you kits to be wearing at competitions. It varies payment wise. A lot of athletes get paid differently, so that's a question that can't really be answered. That's a little bit beyond kind of explanation, just because everybody's different. Events are different, and athletes perform differently. This is a lot that goes into the payment part. So this is my full-time job. So after you get sponsored and you have an agent, you decide who your coach is, who you want your weight coach to be. Cannot be the same, so your actual coach and your weight coach might be different. You decide about your nutrition, you make your own diets. Maybe some people have coaches who make their diets for them. I personally don't have like a specific weight plan or nutrition plan. I make my own. It's pretty easy to kind of gauge about how to eat as a professional athlete. You'll know if you're not doing great because it'll show in performances, it'll show in the way you look when you're performing, it'll show in training, it just shows. So you kind of know if you're doing the right things nutrition wise. Train for anywhere between an easy day can be maybe 2 hours to, with everything included. This is like the pre-treatment, this is the cooling off, the maybe recovery, whatever you have going on. It's just about 5 hours sometimes throughout the day. So you might train in the morning and recovery in the evening, like massaging, all that stuff. So it kind of just varies throughout the day. There's not a specific amount of hours we work. We don't have a general this time to this time. Every athlete's different. Some athletes perform better in the morning, so their coaches plan their workouts for morning workouts. Some athletes in the evening. I'm more so morning/afternoon. So I plan my life and like my schedule is based on, after training, how I can do things. I don't run miles, so my event's the 100-meter hurdles. People who ask me, what's your mile time? How many miles a day do you run? I don't know, don't ask me. I haven't run the miles since I was probably 14. So I don't know what my time is in the mile. I probably would run pretty slow just because I don't train in that way. I do a lot of sprint workouts. So for hurdlers, we do sprint endurance, we do just short stuff, but very quick stuff. Depends on what phase of training we're in. So if it's early season stuff, we'll do a lot more hills, we'll do a lot more 300-meter runs and 400, all that stuff, just endurance, like building up cardio. Right now, indoor is approaching. For a lot of athletes, we'll do a lot more shorter stuff, quick block work, a lot of different things in that regard. So workouts vary. I will probably do maybe a part 2 to this later on, just talking a little bit more about the different types of workouts we have. I can go into a lot more detail with that, but that's just the gist of our lifestyle. How it looks every day can vary, depends on how many hours we have to train that week. Honestly, even how we're feeling. So if we're sick, obviously we have to make adjustments to how our week's gonna go. You literally can't just go hard, push your body to the limit, you know, do all this stuff, because you might pass out, you might have an injury. If you're really sore from the previous workout, you don't want to cause yourself to have an injury. So you have to just be smart. You play it by ear. Things change, which is nice. I like the variety of having different workouts each week and having things change, times change, maybe having an easier week. Just, you know, just being able to change it up is really nice. So moving on to the pros and the cons of being a pro athlete, because this is something, like I said, I probably would have loved to hear a little bit about prior to entering the professional life that my sister ran. So she gave me a lot of advice. I knew a lot of pro athletes before I ran, so they kind of told me a little bit about it. But to be honest, until you're kind of like thrown into the fire, you won't really know what it's like until you kind of experience it for yourself. The biggest pro about running and being a professional athlete and doing it as your job is you're living the dream. You're living dream job. You're doing what you love and you're getting paid for it. It's a blessing to be able to do exactly what I know I'm blessed to do, and the gift that God has given me, and do it to get paid for. So that's one of the biggest pros I'll say, is that I literally love every part of running, even when I don't love training per se, because I mean there's parts of it that's not the funnest, but being able to train and be able to compete and do what you love is amazing. Another pro that I really like is traveling the world. I mean, we get to see all these amazing countries, all these awesome places that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to see sometimes because of financial reasons and just time and all that stuff. So this is our job. We get to go everywhere. I've been to so many continents that sometimes I even forget some of the places I've gone to. People ask me. It's just really amazing. However, we don't actually get the opportunity sometimes to explore and see, just because of we're there to work, we're there to go, and then we have to go to the next destination. But it is a blessing to be able to do it. Another really big, huge pro is you make a lot of friends. You make a lot of you communicate with all these different people. You learn a lot about culture. You learn a lot about people's history, their life, how things just look different. Like, you're not just involved in your own little lifestyle anymore. You're involved in other people's lives. It's a very, very nice experience. And I met so many people who don't look like me, who don't share the same beliefs as I do, but they're just different, and you learn from them so much. So I made a lot of friendships that I've enjoyed. It's been a really amazing experience to make new friends. Just being able to kind of program your schedule and make your own life kind of based off of when you work out is really nice too. I love being able to kind of do things the way I want to do it, or my coach might help me do it. Like, it's just more, it's not very rigid or strict. So that's one thing I will say I love about it. So there's a few cons and things that I've kind of had to like remind myself of every day with being a professional athlete that has been really hard. One thing I would consider a con is money is now involved. So when money becomes involved, it adds a lot more pressure. It adds stress, not really stress, but it just makes things a lot more difficult. You know, people, it's like a business. So take away from the sport, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you actually forget why you're doing it, because, you know, money can change things. And I mean, personally, I don't allow it to dictate how I feel about my competitions or everything, but sometimes it can get in the way. I'm sure a lot about athletes can vouch for that. It's like when money becomes involved, it adds a little bit more pressure. And now you're also just doing it for yourself. So before, when I used to run for college, it was like, okay, I have a team who runs with me, and it's not as individualized. We have like more relays, all this stuff. Now it's really nice when we have competitions like with teams for like Olympics and worlds, and just big champs, when we have those type of competitions. But you know, most of the time it's really individualized. So you're doing it for yourself, or you're doing it to, you know, increase your income or all that stuff. So it's a little more of a business now. It's not as more just jolly, have fun, go run type of lifestyle. So that's one con I will say. Another big con is the fact that you're not with your family all the time. You're not being able to see your friends or live in the community that you're always in. You're always traveling. So sometimes it's hard to create friendships and keep them, because people aren't used to the fact that you're gone so much, or, you know, you'll come and then you'll be gone the next day, or you can't really talk to them on the phone because you're overseas and it costs a lot of money. It can actually hinder things a little bit, but I've learned that, you know, family obviously will always love you no matter what. So you'll talk to them when you can talk to them. Friendships that actually matter will stay. There's a lot to learn in that regard as well. And honestly, it could be very lonely, you guys, overseas sometimes. Like, you know, sometimes you see us always enjoying, and kind of being by yourself when doing it, or traveling by yourself, can get lonely, and you want to experience it with like maybe your family member or a best friend or a spouse or whatever it is. You want to experience it, and you want to have the opportunity. So that can get really hard. Sometimes when you're at training camps, that can get hard to be alone. So all that stuff plays a a big role into it as well. Being self-motivated, as all the time can be hard, you really have to be self-motivated as a professional athlete. There's just no way around it. Like, if you're not self-motivated, you won't succeed. You literally have to tell yourself every day why you're doing it. At this point, your agent, your sponsor, all those people know you're going to do your thing, so you have to do it yourself to continue to perform, so they can continue to support you and people can continue to see your performances and you can continue to do well. It's hard to stay self-motivated at all times, I'm not gonna lie. You're at a different level now. You're competing against the best in the world. It can be a pro too. I personally love competing against the best in the world. It brings out the best in me. It brings out my competitive nature. It's a lot more fun when you're competing against people who are better than you, because you have something to always reach for or push for, rather than when you're always the best. However, you're not always the best. So that can be a con as well sometimes, in the fact that you can be great, but somebody can always be better at this level. Like, it's literally always somewhere another level to get to. Obviously, it's nice to grow, but sometimes it gets hard to just know that if any little thing happens in the middle of a race, somebody else has you like that. Like, you can win a race by 100th of a second. Even take my race in the Olympics, for instance, I was this close to getting a medal, but you know, it happens. We get those experiences. It's nice, but sometimes this lifestyle can definitely have its cons. But overall, I love it. I wouldn't trade it, like I said, for anything in this world. I love this job. I know eventually my leg's gonna be able to provide for me for the rest of my life, so I believe that my career right now is going to set me up for my future, and everything about track and field is what I love, and I know it's gonna be what I do in my future. So thanks for tuning into this video. Hopefully this can answer some of your questions that you guys always love to ask me. I hope that it helped in some way, and if it did, please give me a thumbs up. And like I said, I'll probably do a part 2 about how you can just become more like a professional athlete, have the same type of mindset we have, the workouts we do, the specifics on the workouts we actually have, a lot more in depth about some of the things we have. So if you have any more questions about this lifestyle or anything else you guys want me to discuss, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. Now that the new year has calmed down a bit and I have a lot more time to do things that I wasn't necessarily able to do during the holiday season, I will be producing more videos for all of you guys, so make sure to be on the lookout for all of those. If you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you can get more content just like this, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys all in my next video. Thanks, bye.